One of the most remarkable things I've seen is how easily people can be swayed by propaganda. But it's not just people that are vulnerable. Entire corporations with a board of directors and thousands of employees seem equally defenseless. Within the space of just a few years, some of the most prestigious and historic car manufacturers on the planet will, at the drop of a hat, abandon their customers and decades of research and development into internal combustion engines and build only EVs instead. As we shall see, many of these brands' reputations lie in their amazing engines and drivetrains, the primary feature that gives ICE cars their character, engagement and appeal. But instead they've hitched their wagons to the EV train with barely a second thought, hoping to gain woke brownie points by displaying their dismal environmental credentials. However, as we shall see in this video, many of these manufacturers are getting very nervous about this huge switch, and the tide may be about to turn. So if you're looking for sanity in EVs and net zero, you've come to the right place. If you like this kind of content, it'd be great to have you as a subscriber, and don't forget to enable all notifications so you never miss another video. Here's a quick rundown of some of the brands that have committed to go full electric in the next few years. So this is just an article when every car brand plans to go electric. Let's just scroll through quickly. Jaguar 2025 plans to go all electric by 2025. Alfa Romeo, blimey. Every new Alfa Romeo from 2025 onward will be electric. Goodness me. Chrysler, Lotus, Aston Martin, Bentley 2030. Every Bentley sold from 2026 onward will be either electric or hybrid. Buick, Cadillac, Genesis, Lexus, 2030, Maserati will offer an EV version of each vehicle in its lineup by 2025 and only sell EVs by 2030. Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, Mini, Rolls-Royce, 100% electric lineup by 2030. Volvo, Audi, bear this one in mind because we'll come back to it, pledged to go electric by 2033. Chevy, GMC, Acura, Honda, BMW. The list goes on and on. It's absolutely tragic to see these iconic brands just dump all their intellectual property in the bin and commit to building bland eco-blobs that are indistinguishable from one another. Why even bother having separate brands at all? Why not have just one state-owned manufacturer that builds a small car, a medium car and a large car and just be done with it? Kind of like North Korea. Brands like Rolls-Royce, Aston Martin, Ferrari and Lamborghini are so desperate to appease their net zero overlords that they're prepared to dump their characterful internal combustion engines for bland batteries and motors. Quite frankly, it's astonishing. And worse, it's two fingers up to their customers who I can guarantee want nothing to do with EVs and, like me, believe that internal combustion engine cars will be around for decades and decades to come. A Ferrari buyer doesn't buy one for the interior or the sound system necessarily. They buy it for that magnificent V8 or V12. As Enzo Ferrari himself said, you buy the engine, the car comes free. So why would anyone buy an electric Ferrari with a fake internal combustion engine sound pumped out through the motors? I'm not kidding, there's a patent for it. I believe that this mad rush to full electrification on the part of car manufacturers is a huge mistake, and many of them will gradually, or maybe not so gradually, pull back from this extreme position that they've locked themselves into. There have been many reports in the media over the past few months about EV sales declining and how manufacturers are having to reduce production. Ford recently announced that they're cutting F-150 Lightning production by half next year. Ford F-150 Lightning production to be halved amid stalled demand. A major slump in demand for the once highly anticipated Ford F-150 Lightning electric pickup is set to see production reduced considerably from January 2024. Production of the Ford F-150 Lightning electric pickup will be halved in 2024 as demand for the battery-powered model has tanked in the US. First reported in a planning memo seen by industry publication Automotive News, Ford has since confirmed its plans to build half as many F-150 Lightnings next year compared to its original targets, with a spokesperson telling US news outlet CNBC will continue to match production with customer demand. And Audi are also getting twitchy about their bold predictions of EV uptake. Audi hits brakes on EV rollout as enthusiasm wanes. Higher prices of electric cars compared to petrol models dents demand. Audi will hit the brakes on its rollout of electric car models as consumer enthusiasm wanes in the face of high prices compared to petrol models. Gernot Döllner, the boss of the Volkswagen-owned brand, said that he wants to avoid flooding dealerships and factories with the vehicles as sales slow. The advantage of EVs, electric vehicles, is becoming visible to consumers step by step, Mr. Dolner told Bloomberg News. I don't believe that for an instant, but there we go. Official forecasts for electric car take-up in the UK were slashed by almost half last month. Sales of new battery-powered cars were expected to grow steadily until they accounted for 67% of the market by 2027, under a prediction issued in March. But that figure has now been revised down to just 38% by the Office for Budget Responsibility, which said the take-up of EVs has been slowing. Yeah, and it will continue to slow. This isn't going to stop. The market is saturated with the evangelists who've bought them. Nobody else wants them, and so it's just going to get slower and slower and slower. It's absolutely astonishing. Rather than calmly evaluate this energy transition rationally, these car manufacturers have blindly blundered down the EV path without any thought to the consequences. Respect, however, must go to Porsche, which has stayed true to its customers and to its automotive roots. It's actively pursuing synthetic fuels, which would not only produce far fewer emissions, but which can be used with existing vehicles and infrastructure. Bravo! But these other woke brands can quite frankly go to hell. If they want to produce bland eco-blobs, then they're more than welcome. But hopefully many of them will disappear without trace, and their managements will be left to rue the day they committed to go fully electric. Anyway, that's just about it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you've got any tips or stories, you can hit me up on Instagram or by email. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.